Oh, bring us some sample. Let's see what you guys do. I went in my closet. I pulled together whatever that I had. Bear in mind, there was no clothes. There was no brand. It was just an idea. We'd love to give you a space. This is how much it's going to cost. And I was like, about that, I can't afford. I did a crowdfunding campaign in COVID.
Wait a minute. So you didn't wait for funding?
Nah, bro. No, the community built my brand. Overall, the crowdfunding raised about, I think it was just 100K.
Yes.
And this is in lockdown when we just started coming out a little bit, you know.
Straight.
With Fuata Moyo, I'm trying to create my own culture. Yes, drinking is fun. Why is it the first thing when I walk in the space I have to go to the bar?
How is it like growing up in DRC of Congo?
When you surround yourself by those culture, you also become. That's why if you move to Joburg, you become like a Joburg guy. Was that an hour?
More than an hour.
Yeah, it felt like.
Welcome to a favorite podcast. My name is Tato, aka PJ Smokes A. And today in the studio, I have the artist, the painter, the creative, the co-founder of House of Fuata Moyo. I have the marketing director. He goes by the name of Kabambi Mbiola. How are you today?
I'm alright, behind the scene. Thank you for having me.
And sorry we started late, yo.
You know, we're in Africa, so we work with African time. We get used to it.
How did House of Fuata Moyo come about?
Let me correct you there. It's House of Moyo, which is the production.
Okay.
Fuata Moyo, which is the brand.
The brand.
So, how did it comes about? I think 2020, I was working as a fashion designer. Then we all got hit with the crisis, which was COVID. The company I was working for, went under a little bit of financial problem, and I think things just started going downhill.
Yeah.
I found myself without a job in the craziest time. I remember in lockdown, being in that 21-day lockdown, sitting down, going crazy with my notepad, just coming up with ideas of what's next. But then when you turn on the news or when you go on social media, the world was ending. So it was quite an interesting time. And I think among everything I was coming up with, the only thing that was coming up was fashion and art. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to start a clothing brand and I'm going to mix fashion and art. And when I told my friends thought I was going through a midlife crisis. They were worried about me. They were like, dude, are you okay? Because to be honest, who was making clothes at that time or who was buying clothes at that time? But the crazy part is when I told my siblings, my family, they were like, dude, we've been waiting for you to do this. It gave me the confidence, even though the time wasn't perfect, but in my heart, it felt perfect.
Yeah.
At that time, I didn't even have the name. Make the long story short, I decided to name it what my heart was telling me, which is Fuata Moyo, which is Swahili. It means follow the heart.
Take me to when you were talking about it with your mom.
Yeah.
And you were trying to name it, and when he gave you the name of Fuata Moyo, how did that make you feel? And take you to that story.
So the name Fuata Moyo, it wasn't actually given by my mom. My mom gave me a name, Mapendo.
Mapendo, okay.
Mapendo, which is another chapter that later on came about. Mapendo is basically an initiative that I started, making design to help those that are in need. So I make blazers and I make shoes, and through the process of the sales of those things, I get to raise up that money to assist. I don't want to say less privileged, but people that are actually in need of help using art and creativity to help others. But Fuata Moyo was a thing that just came in COVID lockdown. I would like to believe it was divine inspiration. I was inspired, I always believe when you give yourself that moment of like shutting down the noise.
Yeah.
To some of us, that's what COVID gave us, it was just you and your thought.
Yeah.
It's either you go crazy or you become an artist, you know. So I tap into my creativity, started painting again. Prior to that, I wasn't painting for like maybe like 7 years. Started painting again. I started curating. I started going live on social, doing creative things, and I think that was the beginning of the brand. Yeah.
And then take me through when you were putting your siblings into the idea, and when you put them into roles that you will do this one and this one.
Yeah, I think all those things just happen organically. When I remember when I started, the very first thing that came about, which was sort of like the first project I received, I don't know if anybody ever saw it. In lockdown, Jägermeister had a campaign. It was called Save the Night.
Yeah.
So it was a global campaign because obviously even them, they were not selling alcohol. They needed to come up with creative way of activating their brand. So they were going around the world, tapping into creative from DJ, musician, artists to do something in lockdown in their bedroom to activate online.
Yeah.
And I happened to be friends with one of the marketing director at that time, or she worked in that department at Jägermeister, and she was like, "Yo, dude, you'll be a cool person to activate." And I was like, "Oh, this is brilliant!" And I think to do it, I called my siblings, and I was like, "Oh, let's do something special." And I remember part of my proposal, I came up with a name. What I came up with was Yours Truly.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to use the name Yours Truly because it was a Yours Truly as a space, so I call it Truly Yours.
Yeah.
So the concept that I submitted was I was going to go live on Instagram, make this beautiful artwork, but I am not going to paint what I want to paint. My viewer would tell me what to paint. And that painting, I had to do it with my siblings. So we did it together. It was online. It's somewhere in my archive.
Yeah.
So we went live, had a canvas, people joined, they were telling us what to paint, we were painting.
Amazing.
It was an interactive, beautiful art piece. And the competition, part of the competition was the most interactive person get to win the painting. And
nice.
That would be like how you get the prize, you know, sponsored by Jägermeister. And that activation a little bit back then kind of blew up on social. You know, the right relevant people got shared into it, and through that an opportunity came. Somebody shared it with somebody, it ended up to this person. At that time, this person was building this retail space that they were working on prior to COVID, but in COVID they were still working on it because they believe obviously it was a time it was going to pass. So they approached me. They were like, "Dude, we really love what you and your family are doing. We would like to sit down with you guys and tell you what we're working on." And I was like, "Yo, this would be amazing." And then I went to meet up with these people, and they were like, "Listen, we're opening up the space called We Are Egg." You know, I don't know if you guys have visited. I'm sure everybody knows the space, Egg in Cavendish at that time. And why they approached me, because they like what we did creatively, like art. And they're like, "Oh, we have this, on the way to the office, we have this mural. I think you and your sibling will be the perfect people to do the mural." And I was like, "Oh, yeah." Then I was like, "Tell me more about this egg thing." And they were like, "Oh, it's going to be a retail space where we're going to have designers, emerging designer, established designer, international designer." And I was like, "I'm a designer too." They were like, "Really? You're a designer?" I was like, "Yeah, I have a brand." They were like, "Oh, what's your brand?" I'm like, "It's Fuata Moyo." There was no brand, guys. You know, and for me, it was like, I've always believed in preparation meet opportunity. I've always been prepared. And that moment just happened to be an opportunity. And they were like, "Oh my gosh, we'd love to have you guys part of the..." Anyway, we were supposed to do the mural. They were going to pay us to do the mural. We signed the contract to do the mural. We did the mural. But then it moved from the mural to your brand. They were like, "Oh, bring us some sample. Let's see what you guys do." I went in my closet. I pulled together whatever that I had, bear in mind, there was no clothes, there was no brand. It was just an idea on social that I did with the launch of that activation. And presented some of the pieces that I used to make clothes for myself. Like I'll buy clothes, but some clothes I'll manufacture just to wear.
Yeah.
And they were so impressed with everything, and also just, you know, the potential that we carry as human, you know. And they were like, yo, you guys are so dope. They told us, we'd love to give you a space. This is how much it's going to cost. And I was like, about that, I can't afford it, you know, because I'm jobless. But I would love to be part of it, you know, give me a chance, you know. And crazy enough, they were like, okay, cool, this is the deal. We'll give you a space to launch the brand, and we're not going to charge you rent for the first year. And, you know, a lot of those things happen when you're persistent.
Yeah.
A lot of those things happen when you believe in yourself, and a lot of things happen when you have the confidence. So I got given this opportunity, and I was like, oh, this is crazy. This is brilliant. Finally. But remember, I didn't have a job. I didn't have the money.
Yeah.
I was going to do a mural for them. They were going to pay me a lot of money for that mural. I charged. I didn't come in cheap. But the money was only going to come later. But I needed to make clothes. Make clothes is not the easiest or the cheapest thing to do just from scratch. But I knew it was an opportunity. I knew, you know, for the longest time I did my maths and a lot of things was not adding up. But in that moment, I didn't think of all that. I just thought, this is a great opportunity. Let me figure it out how to do it. And I went around and started figuring out how to launch the brand. I did a crowdfunding campaign in COVID, where people were sensitive with money. But what we did with our campaign is we started pre-selling things. Where we said, listen, if you give us $500, you get a t-shirt. So this is the t-shirt. You get a first Fuata Moyo t-shirt. We just need your $500 first.
Wait a minute. So you didn't wait for funding?
Nah, bro. The community built my brand. No funding. Nobody has ever invested in Fuata Moyo.
Damn.
But I've always said it's the community that gave us the first shot. So part of the crowdfunding was selling merch, selling art, selling an event ticket. And one thing I've always known, you know, even in the process of building the brand and all that, the one thing that I've always tapped in was, I remember in lockdown I was watching a lot of things, and I was watching the sermon, but this guy who happened to be like one of the guy I follow, you know, is the late Miles Monroe. And he was teaching about, you know, the time when Moses was given the task to go free the people. You know, when God gave him the task, the message, and said, go free my people. Moses is a person, a lot of people don't know that Moses didn't speak properly. He stuttered. He made so many excuses to why he wouldn't be the right person to go free the people. And I think in life as people, we do that all the time. When opportunity provides itself, we look at our shortcoming. We look at what we don't have. You know what I mean? And I think excuses. It's a normal human nature. And in that sermon, the key thing that stood out for me was when God asked him, what do you have in your hand? You know, that thing that he had in the hand became the thing that split the sea, the things that created a miracle. Man, that sermon, for some reason, it felt like God was speaking to me, and he kept on asking me, don't worry what you don't have. Focus on what you have. And one thing I do know I have is amazing relationship, people that support anything that I've done in the past and stuff like that. Hence why I went the direction of a crowdfunding. And even within the crowdfunding, the event that we threw was the thing that raised the most money. I think we raised about 40,000 rand. Yeah, people just come into one event, and people were like, yo, dude, I'll DJ for you for free. I'll perform for you for free. I'll work at the door for you for free. Yeah, we raised about 40,000 rand, but overall the crowdfunding raised about, I think it was just 100K.
Yes, this
And
is lockdown.
this is in lockdown when we just started coming out a little bit, you know.
Straight.
But it was the time where people were very money sensitive.
Yeah.
I was disappointed that we raised 100K because I wanted like 350K
Million.
You know, that my vision was like, yo, the whole full production. And somebody said to me, I was like, dude, you actually, what you did was amazing.
Yeah.
You know, in this period of time, having people to believe in this thing that is not there yet, to still invest in it, even if with their time, you have to know that it's a gift, you know, and it's a privilege. That's why even the approach of the brand has always been people first.
Yeah.
Because we are a brand that will build by people with support, and that's the thing. The main thing that builds you should be the thing that sustain you.
Yeah.
And if it's the people that build you, it's the people that will sustain. And I think that's why we always have this very family, you know, thing about our brand, where it's like the goal is to make, we are a family brand, but the goal is to make the family bigger. So yeah, that's our story of our inception, in summarizing. But it's been a testimony, you know, from our very first collaboration to all the amazing things that we've done in the past 5.5 years.
So all of this work in 5 years.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then how did
We're still a baby. We're coming up.
But it's big now.
Yeah.
I mean, how did the logo come about? The Fuata Moyo logo.
Oh yeah, no, the logo is quite an interesting part. The logo is my footprint.
Is it?
Yeah, I had my sister paint black paint under my feet, and we made a footprint on the paper of the 2 feet.
Yes.
Then the space in between always looked to me like a heart. So we made it into a heart. So the logo is the footprint, and in between the footprint is a heart. So the logo itself the footprint symbolizes the journey. The heart symbolizes, as a brand, we're taking this journey into pursuing what we love.
Yeah.
You know, it just happened to be fashion and art, but there's a lot more, you know. We love a lot of things, but we can't introduce all of them at the same time. So it's like right now it's fashion and art. But at the same time, when you walk, you leave mark.
Yeah.
You know, that's why our logo is very special to us. It's like we're following the footstep of those that came before us, but at the same time, we're leaving our own mark for those that come after us.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, being born in a creative family where my dad was an artist, a fine artist, mom, younger brother was a fashion designer, you know, we were inspired by that, you know, so we follow in their footsteps. At the same time, we're trying to leave our own legacies.
So it runs in the family.
Yeah, it's we didn't choose it; it chose us.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the collaboration with Fabiano, how did it come about?
Yeah, man. Every collaboration we've had, we never really went to look for it. It has come to us. So, you know, I remember one of my favorite creative artist designer is you know, I have 2 brands that I love and study a lot. It's Apple and Nike.
Yeah.
You know, I remember Steve Jobs saying something about connecting the dot. You must connect the dot backward, right? So everything, all the people that you need in life, chance are you've met a person that is linked to the person.
Yeah.
A relationship is the most important things in business, in anything. And relationship become the gateway to a lot of success. And I've always been very, very key on just being a dope human being and have good relationship with people. And I think with Fabiani was back in my life journey, I once worked in retail, and I worked for a brand called Vertigo.
Yeah.
I was such a good employee for the brand that did so well in there. So the time when it came to start my own brand, somebody that I worked with like so many years ago had me on social media. So they were following the whole process of what we were doing, from the activation to raising the funds to starting the brand. So when we started the brand, 6 months later, I got a message like, yo, I just want to let you know I am super inspired by what you guys are doing. Let's have coffee.
This is your then boss.
Yeah, this is my then superior, you know. I didn't even have that close of a relationship with that person, but whenever we saw each other, it was love, you know. And she hit me up, and I was like, yeah, sure, would love to have coffee. And when she came, she didn't tell me what it was for. I didn't even know what company she was working for. When she came to see me, she came with a whole team.
Yes.
I remember we had coffee downstairs from our studio, and we were talking, and we were just telling them our story, what we're doing.
Yeah.
And they were so inspired, bro. You know, when people just light bulb moment, you know?
Yeah.
To be honest with you, at that time, we were approached around the same time by another denim brand locally that wanted to work with us. But that brand didn't really, they didn't really pursue or even made an effort to come and see us. We went to see them at the office. We present our stuff. They love it. But then when they came to us, it was like you felt the investment, the love, the inspiration. They were blown away, and they were like, guys, we work for Fabiani. I would love to work with Fuata Moyo. 6 months into a year, you know. But obviously that collaboration took about maybe another 8 months of working behind the scene before it came out. So it was like we were just under 2. Yeah, that's how it came about, just, as long as you're doing great work, there's people watching out there. There's opportunity waiting for you, for the right moment.
Yeah.
So when they approached us, we were ready. The next thing, it was the biggest collaboration by far we've done. It was, I think, 27 stores around the country. We designed, I think, about 10 pieces, or probably more than 10 pieces. Yeah, it was a huge collaboration, man. It's like it was the one that just took off and opened other doors, Yeah.
'Cause
shout out to Fabiani.
Yeah, big shout out.
Yeah.
You know how I found out about the brand? So basically, there's a collaboration you did with Hennessy.
Heineken.
The one with Madlera.
Oh yeah, no, that was I got booked for a job.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I was booked for a job to be myself on the Hennessy campaign. Yeah.
Because for me, so on the ad, Madlera's wearing a pink suit, right?
Yeah.
And then there's a guy crossing like this wearing, there's the pants with the white thingy on the side. Yeah, that one. So I was fascinated by the brand from then.
Yeah.
Then I was like, okay, cool. Then fast forward 5 months in it, after I knocked off, I remember I worked late shift, right?
Yeah.
And I was coming from work. So the driver that took me from work to home mistaken my location. Then he dropped me at the doorstep of your shop. So I wasn't aware that this is a fashion brand show or a house or anything.
Yeah.
So I hear the noise. Then I went in. That was that event that I came the other time where Bravo was attending.
Yeah.
So basically, that's how I knew about the brand, because my favorite rapper it's Madlera.
Yeah.
Right. Then I started following the brand and everything.
Yeah.
The following day, I went to church upstairs. I didn't know it's a sister's church.
Yeah.
Then on Saturday, you were also on Sunday you were hosting a fashion show upstairs where there was a church.
Yeah.
And I was invited by Miwa,
Yeah.
one of the church members. Then that's how I knew the brand.
Okay.
So through that Hennessy thingy, like after the shoot, how was the environment like?
So like the NSC thing was very I got approached. Somebody was like, hey, NSC is doing this thing where they want to shoot different artists from different, sort of like it was I think an African campaign.
Yeah, with the
so
cypher.
It was Thames, Maglera, another artist from Nigeria. I just asked to be also on there. So I was actually supposed to be on the banner. There's a photo somewhere of Thames, Maglera, myself, and there was this girl. She was an artist that they flew from UK.
Yeah.
But when they were taking pictures, apparently I was standing out too much. They replaced me to put somebody else, but they put him in the clothes I was wearing. So I never happened to be on the main poster that was released. But I was obviously paid to be on set, and I got to meet Maglera. We exchanged details. We were supposed to, but I got his number. One day we get to work together. I got his manager number as well. It was beautiful to actually meet these people behind. We didn't get to talk to Thames though. She had too many protection bodyguard, but it was nice to actually mingle with these people, and it was a beautiful experience. A lot of people don't know that my family and my brand is very rooted in two things, love, and the second thing is our spirituality, which is God. Even the reason why we push love, because I always say love is God, right? If you take the word artist, in our brand, sometimes this is how we say it. We break it down. It's art is, the T is a cross. Art is God. God is an artist. God created everything, and he created us. But when he created us, he said he made us just like him. That's why we create as people. So the biggest inspiration of our brand first is God, So hence why you came to my studio. It is my studio. But it's also a church. So I was like, if you're running a brand and you want all the blessing in the world. But my sister and my brother-in-law have a ministry, and they used to have a church in the Minington side, and that property was no longer available, and they had to close down the ministry and to find another place, and they were looking for a place and they were struggling. And I was like, I have this big space. Why don't you guys start having your service here, And their ministry was young back then. And they were like, how's that going to work? I was like, I do production upstairs. I do the art downstairs. I have a shop downstairs. But the upstairs, I have many rooms at the back. My guys don't have to be in the main big space. I can put my tables and... we can pack it up on, you only need it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we can pack it up and you use it, So that's why whenever people come on the weekend in the space, they will hear like people singing and praising, because I do actually share the space with my sister, my brother-in-law. Also, Cape Town rent. It's an arm and a leg, but they also do get assist. They assist me with whatever in that regard. But I help them. At the same time, they, I think now they find they've become a bit too big, and they're currently looking for another space. But I also love what they do. It's a beautiful movement. It's called Heaven Gateway Ministry. And they have this youth movement called Radical. And it's beautiful to see how they inspire all these young kids from CPUT, and them just very radical and passionate about God. It's also things we were raised like, So it's a line. It's a line. So, that's what's happening at my studio. Downstairs is the store and everything, but upstairs on weekend, it's come and pray with us.
Amazing. I want to touch a little bit on your childhood. How was your childhood like?
How's my childhood like? I was a trouble kid. I started everything early. I gave my mom a really tough time. When people meet me nowadays, they're always shocked to find out that I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't take substance. And it's always like, you're a creative. It's the first thing we think. I was like, it's also maybe starting all these things very early. Also, you grow up quick, and I think when my dad passed, I went through that transition of like, what are you doing? You have younger sibling. What kind of responsible role model are you going to be for them? So there's a lot of things I needed to cut myself out of, just to make sure that those that are watching or coming up after me don't really have to follow the footsteps of whatever that we used to consider, fun and lit. But yeah, I used to be a problematic kid that turned out okay. My mom looked at me, she's like, yeah, it can only be God. But yeah, so we have a past, but the past don't really define us. I think it's who you are today and who you're trying to be tomorrow. Yeah.
You do all of this heart sober, like all of this art, everything sober.
Clean, man.
Yes, because most artists, they call it a poison. Either you're smoking weed, some they smoke cocaine, some they smoke whatever for them to be way too creative.
Yeah, man, culture is created, bro. And I think a lot of people dwell into culture without even asking question. What culture you creating?
Straight.
The person that created the culture that you into was somebody like you. Why are you taking away your power to create your culture?
Yeah.
So with Fuata Moyo, I'm trying to create my own culture, man. It's a culture of collaboration. It's a culture of love. It's a culture of creating. It's a culture of pursuing what you love, man. Just go after your dream and do it. So we don't realize as people that we create culture every day, and yeah, man. And I think I question a lot of things in life. So yes, drinking is fun. Why is it the first thing when I walk in the space I have to go to the bar? I am not thirsty. Why am I at the bar? So did I make that decision, or did that environment dictate that decision for me? So if you start questioning life from that perspective, you realize that a lot of things you think you like is not really you. You're being told. So if I guess I can say I'm a very aware person, and I realized very early on that I can't do these things under substance, because also substance maybe is who I become when I'm under influence, and that wasn't the person I wanted to be associated to, So yeah, man, I'm clean.
Yes. How is it like growing up in DRC of Congo?
I left DRC very young, man. I don't really have a lot of memories. I grew up in Cape Town. I grew up in southern suburb. I went to primary school there, Southfield Primary. I went to Buren High School. So I do have blurry memory of it. There's a lot of things rooted that, culturally I was raised Congolese in South Africa. My mannerism and stuff like that. But I'll say I'm a Cape Townian, man, even though everybody thinks I'm from Joburg for some reason. But I'm a Cape Townian by heart. I've been here for 27 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the food culture, are you more like South African food culture or?
Old, I guess. I see I was raised Congolese culture.
Yeah.
The thing about African culture, though, is one thing I want to do with my brand. I want to expose people to African culture. We have the most amazing food on the continent, but you go around here in Cape Town, you find Italian restaurant, Asian restaurant, Mexican restaurant, but you hardly find a lot of African restaurant, because I think a lot of the things is based on pride. The proudest people we have on the continent for me is two nations. It's Nigerian and Ethiopian.
Straight.
You can go anywhere in the world, you find those culture. You find they're present everywhere you go. South Africa is starting to be. And those things, and in South Africa, it's mainly like Zulu guys.
Yeah.
That's why Joburg, you can't mess with Joburg
Straight
guys. They're all about who they are. You know what I mean? And I think it's rooted to culture, how we were raised. Nigerian, it's a Nigerian, they're proud of who they are anywhere in the world. They don't dim their light for anybody. Same thing with Ethiopian. Same thing with Zulu.
Straight.
So I think when you surround yourself by those culture, you also become. That's why if you move to Joburg, you become like a Joburg guy.
Straight.
Joburg became like that because Joburg was the land of opportunity where people came from all over the world to look for opportunity. And there was a new culture that adapted there. Cape Town has always been the place where we go for holiday, bruh. So the culture in Cape Town is
Let's
like
go spend money.
Everybody's at the beach. It's like, yo, when do you guys make money? You know.
Yeah.
So it's very important to actually understanding that culture dictate a lot of things. And I think one thing I would love to see is more African culture going forward.
Straight.
So with us, with the brand, we try to do that. Obviously, I push a lot of the culture I was raised, but the vision is for it to become more Pan-African. I would like to celebrate more significant African Day, South African Day, where we bring the whole world. It's not only for African. Everybody must come and celebrate ours. I mean, there's an event I do yearly on the 30th of June. It's called La Sap. I am going to do it this year again. It's going to be bigger and proper. It's the subculture of fashion in Congo called La Sap. And I throw an event about it. It's like Skotani.
Yeah.
That culture should become a movement because it's a South African culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We actually need to highlight it and put it in the world stage. I saw Mankosa did Paris Fashion Week, and he had a bit of a representation of that. That thing should be everywhere, So at least in Congo, we have the Le Sapeur, So I want to take that subculture because that subculture is huge everywhere in the world except in Africa.
What is that?
It's basically black dandyism, just dressing up proper. Congolese guys are known for that. If you really research it, in Africa, Congolese guys are known for proper dressing in suit, and it's like exactly the same thing as the Skotani. So but that thing became very big because there was a Congolese musician that took it to Europe and it became big. So it's once you embrace your culture and you take it to the world, they will buy it. Straight. That's why Amapiano is being celebrated now everywhere in Europe. Somebody had to be proud of it first. So it's all rooted in pride. We as African need to be proud in who we are and what we are. But I remember as a kid, I grew up with colored and white friends. When they'll come to my house, I'm having my Congolese food. I'm like, oh shit, let me pack this. And, I don't want them to see. This is when I was a kid. But the older I get, and it's like, why? When they're having sushi and pasta, they don't pack that thing. They invite you to it. It's called pride, And it's like, if this is our culture, when friends that are not within that culture come, we pack. No, we shouldn't. It's who you are,
So that's why. Sorry. So that's why at that event, you made that event and make sure everybody's having those meal at that event.
Yeah. Every event you come to, you're gonna eat Congolese food.
I saw. I was like, that's very nice.
So and people eat it and they're like, oh my gosh. You will realize that when it comes to food, the most untapped food is African food.
And most people who are eating the food is like, mostly when I checked, it's like European, white people.
Yeah, because even African don't eat African food.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? We've tapped into Western culture so much that, we'll go to, I don't want to mention brand, we'll go to KFC, but that's not our food.
Straight.
But yeah, that's how important it is to be aware that even like we have this thing on Africa called African print. That thing come from Holland or in the East. We don't make that fabric. Why do we call it African print? Because they came and dumped it on our continent and said, this is your print. We took it out of poverty and we embraced it, but it's not really our print. Then you start asking yourself a question, what exactly is African print?
Straight up.
African print is print created by African. You know what I mean? What imprint does or what Laduma does, that is African print because an African created it. What Fuata Moyo does with the paint, that is African print. African print is not this shwe that people, that's not African print. It wasn't created by African. You know what I mean? So it's that thing of like, be aware of the things you do or the things you consume. One of the greatest book I've ever read that changed my life it's called The Capitalist Nigger. I always recommend that book to people. I stopped borrowing that book because people wasn't giving it back. I tell people, go buy it. Send me the cash, I'll buy it for you. But that book speak on it's a Nigerian doctor, a Nigerian author that grew up in America. And he started questioning ownership of blacks and how our money don't circulate in our economy. Once we receive it, it goes out of our community, you know. And he asked a question, is like, if you go in your house right now, you look around your house, how many items do you own in your house that was made by somebody that look like you, that is made by a company of somebody that look like you?
Shit.
Bro, you realize in my house at that time I had nothing. I was like, no.
You don't have it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I always recommend that book, because it taught me that ownership is the economy. Ownership is key. Once you start owning, you start empowering, you start controlling, you start dictating.
Straight.
You know, so it is important for us to start owning a restaurant. Because if I own a restaurant, I'm going to bring a bit of my culture in it, because nobody needs to tell me.
Straight.
Then it become a culture. People will buy into it, you know. So, yeah.
I want to be a little bit more personal.
Yeah.
I want to talk about your watershed father store. And especially when you were young and mommy and daddy were the one running it.
Yeah.
Daddy selling paints. How was it like in that era? Take me back there.
Yeah, and I mean, it's beautiful that we sell our clothes at the watershed now, because I grew up in that market. You know, I used to go there when I was like 11, 12.
Yeah.
On weekends, sometimes my dad would leave me there. I'll be 12 years old, and it's like I'm coming back, and I'll stay there selling his art. So my dad used to do fine art, and my mom and my dad together, they used to collaborate on how they sell it. So the watershed is such a beautiful space that give creative a platform to make career out of the craft.
Yeah.
Without necessarily be involved in any big thing. It's a market that have a foot flow of international tourists that come looking for African product. So grew up in that market, and when my dad passed, he left an art store there. Myself and my younger sister took over. I think I was like 15, you know. I ran the store for like 10 years. The store at the watershed my dad was a breadwinner, right? My mom worked for my dad, so when my dad passed, there was no more breadwinner. So at 15, my mom was like, listen, I don't know how we can survive, but you guys are the only hope, because I think you have the gift. Why don't you give it a try, you know? And I remember trying, did my very first painting. The same day it was put in that space, it was sold. She came, at that time it was 1,500. She's like, listen, I told you can make money from this. I changed my life. I was like, I'm going to be an artist now, you know? But for her, it was encouragement. She wanted to encourage me to believe that I can do it. And that painting was one of the most ugliest painting I've ever seen in my world. You know, the only reason I realized it was ugly because later on I took a picture next to it. Somebody bought it the same day. Years later, I was going through my photo album and I see the picture standing next to the painting. I was like, how did somebody bought this? You know, but that could also be God encouraging me, you know. That's how it started. So myself and my sister took over my dad's business, ran it for like 10 years. But it came to a time where we were just doing the exact same thing. We were kids. You know, it felt like, we needed to go find out who we are. My sister wanted to go study.
Straight up.
I wanted to go. I got to a point where I hated art. I wanted nothing to do with it. I felt like it was taking my childhood. You know, I was like, I want to do this fashion thing, you know? So, we, you know, also us at that time with the management at the waterfront, we're not really seeing our lines. So the space got, you know, closed. That's when I went into retail, you know, trying to understand fashion. My sister went to study graphic. And 360, you know, when we started the brand, they were also watching, you know, and you know, it's not easy getting the watershed, but because of our story linked to the space, you know, they hit us up. They were like, listen, there's a space available.
You can come through.
You can come through. And so it became like a 360 moment of like, wow, they grew up in this market. What a beautiful story.
Straight up.
Yeah, now you can find us at the Watershed. That's our main spot. But we also have a studio in Plain Street where you can come and check us out.
Straight up. So on the Mapendo video, your mom mentioned that sometimes nobody taught you how to paint.
Yeah.
One. And he mentioned that you would sometimes feel the presence behind your back while you're painting.
Yeah. You know, night times is a weird time to do things. The reason why I used to paint at night because I wanted to be on the street during the day. I was a kid, you know. I was like, I have to do this painting things, you know. So I'll go out, I'll party with my friend, I'll come back late, I'll sleep. Then around like 5 or 6 o'clock, then I'm like, oh yeah, I need to paint because you know, there's stuff that needed for the space.
Straight.
Then I'll paint from like 6 to like 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, sometimes even 5 o'clock in the morning, you know. So throughout the whole night I'm painting. But sometimes, you know, in that moment where you just focus, the house is quiet, it's just you and the artwork, you feel like there's an energy around you, you know. I think in the beginning it felt like my dad's presence was there. I don't really believe in, you know, spirit and you know, but in that moment it felt like I was being guided by somebody, you know. The same thing people said at our fashion show when the model raised the hand and
that was too much.
And the rain came down. People were like, "Oh, your dad, oh God."
We experienced 4 seasons in one day.
Yeah,
I was like, damn.
Yeah, I also think a lot of things happen like that when you align. You know, when you're supposed to be doing something. When it's like what we call in African culture your calling. You know, I believe a human being coming to this world, you being, you know, I did a talk at the school a couple of months ago, and part of my talk was when you are born in this world, you are a winner already. So a lot of people in this world wait for moments where it's like, I need to win in life. Your existence in this world mean you're a winner. Straight. Because for you to be born, if you really understand biology, what it takes for you to come into this planet, you have to go up against millions of cells.
Straight.
You know what I mean? So something was needed to be done in this planet. That's why you're here. But the only reason people don't get to do that is people don't actually understand purpose. You know, what is your purpose? Why are you here? I think if you start seeking that thing, you're gonna start moving different. You know, hence why I told you I don't drink, I don't smoke. It's like if you know why you're here, there's certain things you have to cut out. It's like it's not aligned to what I'm supposed to be doing.
Straight.
You know, so there's a lot of things I had to change along my journey where I started understanding who I needed to become like and how I needed to move. It's all aligned to what I think I should be doing. Yeah.
And let's talk about Mapendo project.
Yes.
And your relationship with Regan.
With the Regan, yeah. Regan is a beautiful soul, man. It's like, yeah, man. I think throughout your journey you meet beautiful people, man. It's they're just supposed to come. I call them guardian angel. So Regan was was a customer. Yeah. Regan loved the brand. Regan has a lot of peace from the brand, and from the moment I met him, it just felt like we should be doing something together. So I think it's a beautiful relationship we have. He's like a big brother to me. When I told him about my Mapendo project, he was like, dude, I don't have much. Yeah. But I want to give you something just to encourage you. I think he gave me like 8,000 Rand. Who would give you 8,000 Rand? I didn't ask for it, but he was like, this is my seed. Yeah. Because I believe you're going to do something with it, you know. And that for me was like, you have no choice. If people believe in you like this, like I said from the beginning, it's people that inspire us to move the way we move and stuff like that. So yeah, Mapendo, there's a lot of things going to come out of Mapendo project.
I mean, this suit is Mapendo, right?
Yeah, so this is one of the suit. These are the suit when the money that we make from these suits go into the project and what we want to do. So the plan, it's I don't really want to go deep into it, the idea is we want to turn it into an online school, that that would guide a lot of people into not your generic school, but like I was a terrible student in school, so I would like to tweak how we educate, and from my perspective, in the way I think a creative child should be educated. And I think the best way to teach creative is to expose them to other creatives. So even this podcast, if a young kid is watching out there, if they get to hear my story, it becomes some sort of like inspiration or hope or believe, So we want to do something like that with Mapendo project, where if you book, it'll be a business school. I'm trying to talk about it when it's not. It's very premature.
When the time is right.
It's called the Heart of Entrepreneurship. It's basically teaching you entrepreneurship from the heart and how you can create. So there's gonna be module. There's gonna be people volunteering, like big industry people that will come and give courses, but then share that knowledge, because I believe knowledge is power. So share that knowledge with people that want the knowledge, but at the same time give it access to kids that can't have access to it. So that also going to be part of my Mapendo project. So there's a lot of things that we're planning. It's going to be beautiful. It's a journey. So one step at a time. Yeah.
So if your art was a flavor, what would it taste like?
What would it taste like if art was a flavor? The blood of Jesus. Man, I don't know. What would it taste like? What is so? Yeah, I love pizzas with pineapple.
Oh.
People think that's super weird, but I like different taste in one area. When you have a pizza with pineapple, with avo, and chicken, it's like, bro, how do you have all these flavor in one thing? So if my art had a flavor, it would be a chicken avo pineapple pizza. So just different tastes at the same time, and somehow they make sense.
So now let's talk about Vualt and Bree collaboration with G-Star Raw. How did that come about? That was huge.
Yeah, so they don't use the word Raw anymore. So it's G-Star. So it wasn't the collaboration with G-Star. Mm-hmm. It was a collaboration with Vualt.
Oh.
Yeah, so Vualt is owned by G-Star. So how did it come about? I think relationship. I went to one of the events and I was like, whoa, this is a dope event. But then I was like, yo, people just came and have fun. And after that they left. And I was like, but we could do an event, but with something, either art or fashion. Anyway, so Vualt, at that time, my younger brother was modeling for them. And I was like, yo, I want to introduce me to these people. I want to know them, and introduce me to them. And I actually liked their energy. It was just beautiful souls, just people that are passionate about what they do and the culture and everything. And we just started chatting ideas. And I was like, we should do something for Art Fair. They were like, I think we should, anything. It was just randomly just sharing ideas.
Yeah.
That's what I do with a lot of collaboration I've done after that. Like last year I did a fashion show with BAT, the tobacco company. It was also just pitching my idea and say, hey, I want to do a fashion show. I've been part of Fashion Week. I didn't necessarily enjoy the experience. And I thought how designers showcase their brand should not be to gatekeep, to control. Mm-hmm. It needs to have creative freedom. So for me is when you see a problem, look for a solution.
Yeah.
And my solution was, I'm going to start doing my own show. Last year when we did a fashion show, we gave 2 emerging designer a platform to showcase for free. Everything was sponsored. You know, showcasing is one of the most expensive things that designer goes through. So if brands can collaborate with designers, it just makes life easier. It also add value to the culture and the industry. And I think that's what Vualt did. You know, they gave us a platform, they gave us an opportunity, and they believed in us. They didn't know we're a small brand compared to, the access that they have, but they believe in the potential and they planted a seed. And look, I mean, they donated. I told them I wanted to do art with pre-loved denims.
Yeah.
And I was like, G-Star, I'm sure G-Star have denim sitting out there that people return, or maybe at a default. With garment, these things happen. And they were like, yeah, they do have boxes. I was like, yeah, donate them. I'll instead of them just sitting there,
Yeah.
I'll create something with them. So they gave me a couple of boxes, and we took the pre-loved denim and we made beautiful art piece, and we made like an outfit, and we exhibited that because it was during the art fair.
Yeah.
So that became like our own art exhibition, and it was beautiful. The pieces are amazing. Somebody bought one of the piece right away on the same day. They texted me. They were like, yo, I would like to buy this piece. So yeah, man, I think that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Me going back into doing art
straight,
unless somebody gave me the opportunity to. So shout out to them for believing in us and giving us the platform to showcase. And the fashion show, man, I don't need to say much about it. I think it was just a work of art. It was beautiful. It was a celebration of African creativity,
straight,
and how beautiful Cape Town is, and the people. It was just everything perfect, man. So the fashion show was dope. It took a lot of effort and work. We put it together in such a short period of time, but it shows the potential you have when you have the right backing and the right push and the right support. So yeah, Vualt did that for us.
Speaking of opportunity, who's cutting hair of your models?
Cutting hair of the models?
Yeah.
We had a hairstylist.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because I have my barber, his name is Nana Rules.
Yeah.
So he's cutting my boy Steven.
Okay.
And he's cutting also my Clara Doughboy.
Okay.
So basically when I went there, we were talking about your brand a little bit.
So when my Clara is in Cape Town, he cut easy.
Straight.
Okay. Dope.
So basically when you talk about opportunity, I'm thinking about the same thing. That perhaps if you need somebody to cut your models' hair, because they also live around town.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're looking for somebody to do that.
I mean, within fashion show, those things do pop up. Usually you get a hairstylist, you get, So I think with a lot of creative, what I always tell them is like, we live in the age of the internet.
Yeah.
Where if you listen to our story, it started with one activation online that led to one thing to another thing. So a lot of the time, don't sit with your creativity with yourself.
Yeah.
Even though we were privileged enough for a lot of people to approach us, they approach us because we were activating. One thing people always say to me, dude, you're always busy doing things. I was like, that's my only way of marketing. I don't, they say stagnation is death. When you stand still, whatever that you carry, you're killing it.
Straight.
The best way to do is be in motion. Even if you don't know what you're doing, just move. Because once you start moving around this room, there's energy in the room, right?
Yeah.
So if you have any sort of skills, make sure everybody who knows you knows you about that skill.
Straight.
There's a dude that cut hair. He has a podcast, and he go and sit down on the street and say, hey, can I cut your hair?
Straight
and
up.
he have a conversation with people, and they record. He's one of the most followed YouTuber in the world. He cut hair. You know what I mean?
Straight up.
So it's perspective. In whatever creativity or whatever gift that you have, look for angle that sets you apart.
Straight up.
how would people spot you, you know? You know, I know with Fuata Moyo, we don't put a lot of branding on our clothes.
Yeah.
But somebody will tell you, yo, that's a Fuata Moyo piece. How?
Yeah.
Because we had to look for point of difference. The thing that make us different, the things that make us stand out. There's a lot of people painting on clothes out there. But you will see a Fuata Moyo piece, you will know it. So to tap on your boy, that would be the advice I would tell them. It's like, yo, with your hair cutting style, look for something that nobody has done.
Yeah.
Or even if somebody has done, just do it in your own way.
Straight up.
You know, there's a book out there that called Steal Like an Artist. Basically saying there's no such thing as a new idea.
There's a new thing under the sun.
It's just taking an idea that existed and make it your own. Right? The same thing of going around, yo, can I cut your hair? And people will follow that. People would, you know what I mean? So yeah, man, just look for ways. Don't wait for opportunity to come to you.
Straight up.
Create the motion so that doors will start opening up.
Who do you want to collaborate with?
Who do I want to collaborate with? Anybody, bro.
I mean, let's say
collaboration is life.
Yeah.
You know, if I collaborate with you, this is a collaboration.
Straight.
I'm tapping into your community. You're tapping into mine. We're tapping into each other's life.
Yeah.
Collaboration doesn't have to be this big thing, whatever. It's just collaboration is just two worlds coming together, you know. My door is always open. If it makes sense to me, I'll do it. Right? But like to say who can I pin down and say, you know, my collaboration with Fabiani, I remember when we started the brand, I told the team before the end of the year, we need to do a collaboration with a denim brand. I didn't know which denim brand. You know, could have been Levi's, could have been anybody, but it just needed to be a denim brand.
Straight up.
I'm saying if Levi had to come to me, I wouldn't have said no. So I can't say I want to collaborate with this person. When I started the brand, like I told you, I'm a fan of Apple and Nike.
Yeah.
I would love to do a Nike collaboration because Nike is like the one. But if Reebok come to me today, it'll be the same thing. It's my brand coexisting in their world.
Straight up.
I get to do what I love, you know. So you should never limit collaboration based on the individual, but let collaboration be about your creation. It can exist in any platform.
How do you define happiness? What makes you happy?
What make me happy being able to do what I love. Yeah. And have peace around me, you know. Just I don't like drama. I don't like argument. I don't like, you know, so yeah, man, I think my happiness is built around seeing my family good, seeing my friends doing well,
straight,
and just continue pursuing my dreams and at my own capacity. It doesn't have to be, it's not money or fame, it's just being able to do what we love. I always say, when you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. What I do right now for my brand, I can't put a price to it. Yeah. Because sometimes I work ridiculous hours that don't make sense. But it should be like, yo, that's because I'm passionate about it, you know? So you have to find that passion first and the love. Then the rest will just fall into places. You'll be okay with when there's money, and you'll be okay when there's no money. Yeah. So if you're passionate about this podcast, you're going to do it when there's no money. Straight. But you're also going to do it the same passion you have when you were setting up this camera. Yeah. You're going to do it the same when there's money. Straight up. Just along the journey, sometimes people lose that, where they start thinking the accolade and whatever become important. I think then you have lost the passion of what you do, you know? I'm hoping I don't lose the passion of what I do. So yeah, because I love it. Yeah.
So on our podcast, we have a segment called Pass the Question, right? Yes. So last week we were doing a podcast with Lebu K. Yeah. And her question to you was, what do you want to achieve in the next 5 years?
That's a dope question.
Yeah.
When I started the brand, I had a 10-year goal. And I broke it down to 5 years. Yeah. And I broke it down to 3 years. And I broke it down to a year, 6 months, and a month. So far, everything I set for my 5 years, I've achieved. My 10 years goal was setting up an art festival.
Yeah.
I'm already in motion with it. We're working on a website. Conversation are already happening. Yeah, man, we're going for it. Follow the Heart Festival is what I want to do. I want to create a bigger platform for a lot of creatives.
Yeah.
And we can take that movement around the world, you know. So that's my 5-year goal. And potentially, yeah, that should also be part of the next 5 years goal. Open up an international store and have access to move the brand towards the continent and the world. So there's already conversation and a couple of things in the pipeline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what question do you have for our next guest?
What's the vision?
What's the vision? That's the question.
Yeah. What's the vision of podcasts?
Wait, for our podcast or the question for our next guest?
Because you're part of the podcast world. What's your vision for it?
Give me a second. Yeah.
Okay.
So for our podcast, because our podcast is an umbrella, right? So I want to create a production company, which we're able to list equipment and shoot podcasts for other people. I want to do short movie films. I also want to create an agency for the podcast, so that the podcast can be able to create an agency where kids can be able to come and learn how to act, learn how to be movie stars, to write stories, to write movies. So as a podcast, we also want to collaborate with SABC, collaborate with Ferguson Films, Netflix, Showmax. So, but for now, I think for the year is to shoot. Let's say, okay, for the month it was you, so that one is out of the way. So we want to shoot President Malema, President Ramaphosa, and who else? Steenhuisen.
Okay.
So that's like a year goal. Okay. And the collaboration with Netflix Showmax, that should be in upcoming 2 years. Okay. So that's for podcast.
So that's beautiful, man. And I think all those things are very possible. But the only question I'll ask, everything that you've said in this room, to me, it sounds like it doesn't need 2 years to start the motion.
Yeah.
So tomorrow you can start. Julius and these people hang out there by my studio.
Straight.
The parliament is around the corner.
Yeah.
So the vision is there, the goal is there. Don't wait for the gold. Even with everything that you say, producing other people's podcasts.
Yeah.
Bro, you can already start.
Straight.
You can produce my podcast. You just say, I told you I used to, that was my vision to do a podcast. You could literally, in that moment, you could say, Kebi, I know you want to do podcasts. Let me produce your podcast. You do it under my umbrella. It doesn't need a time.
Yes.
It's already in motion. Once you've write it down as an idea, it's in motion, right? When it's in motion, every room you walk in is already tied down to those things. You could walk down the road and bump into Julia's PA. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't need a time. You're already working on all those things because I think they are actually all doable.
Straight.
So especially with the production of podcasts, because a lot of people want to do podcasts. A lot of people don't know where to go. So if you have the source, already register that business and let them come through under your wings. That could happen tomorrow. You could literally set up the page. I produce your podcast. I'll be your first client.
Straight up.
You get what I mean? So a lot of the things we think, like the festival, I used to think I need to wait until 10 years. I could have started the festival. I could have done the festival already by now. But because I was waiting, that's what I've realized. It's like when I started my brand, the very first thing I say, okay, what do I do? I was like, okay, what can I do? Because I didn't have money. What can I do? Registration of a business is 150 Rand.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get that done. Instagram account is free.
Free.
Logo, my sister did the graphic, blah, blah, free. Then there was an Instagram, there was a logo, there was a post, there was an account, there was YouTube, there's everything. There was about, all the things were there. Then we say to ourselves, okay, what's next? Let's go open a bank account. when you open a bank account, it's also what, $100 to put in accounts.
Straight up.
So for 250 Rand, you become an existing business. So no business will come and do business with you when you're not an existing business.
Straight up.
But then a lot of people wait. Yeah, I want to do this business. What are you waiting for? Already, when those things were there, we had a document, everything. We were a business. So that when the opportunities start coming, we were already a business.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is the motion of one step at a time, you know the end goal. But as long as you're moving towards it every day, we got a lot of time. We got, 24 hours in a day. It's a lot of time, bro. And that's the privilege. So you can do a lot out of them. Yeah, that's the reason why I'm no longer waiting for the festival.
Yeah.
I'll tell you now, when I started talking about the festival, everybody keep on asking me after the fashion show, what's next? I'm like, the art festival. The moment I started moving with that motion, I managed to find the venue. Already the venue is being offered to me. Bro, it's crazy. Like, there's a lot of things have started happening. Why?
Yeah.
Because my atmosphere and our start moving shifted from waiting for 5 years and say, let's do it now.
Oh, I see.
So yeah, man, that's key in everything that you want to do. Is you're doing it already, so work on it already every day. Do something about it. Yeah, man.
No, noted.
Yeah.
So the question we should ask our next guest.
Yo, what's the next guest do? If money was not a factor, what would they be doing?
Good question.
Yeah.
Okay, definitely.
Because a lot of people do things for money, but what would you be doing if it was for free?
Okay, good question.
Yeah.
So I guess we've come to the end of our podcast for today.
Yes, sir.
So I really hope there's like more episode to come.
Yeah,
with
this is
you.
my first podcast, man. I get told I should be doing this for a living, but nobody believed in me. You believed in me.
I did.
But thank you. Thank you.
We appreciate you making time for us.
Yeah, man. It's podcasts are very important, man. It become platform for education. I see a lot of podcasts there that they all tend to just be all about just media and entertainment. But remember, the future world is not only going to be in media and entertainment. So you're saying you want to interview the president, that's bar. Because podcast should be a platform where all aspect of knowledge is being shared. Yeah. From a guy that, I would like to know how the Pakistani guys run the tuck shop business. How? Nobody know. I would like to know how, these people are doing this and that and that, So if you can create a platform where all that knowledge is accessible, it become power, man. It become a source of beautiful things, Yeah,
but we really, really appreciate you coming through, believing in our stuff. We would like to thank you very much.
Thanh you.
So from me, my boy is Tato, aka PJ Smokers.
And the crew beyond
go
the
like,
scene.
Subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.
Was that an hour?
More than an hour.
Yeah, it felt like...
One thing.
You usually